Alright guys, in this video we're going to cover the very basic data structures, arrays and hashes. So let's get into it. Arrays and hashes. Let's first look into the arrays. We'll be looking at the creation and initialization for the arrays. Creation and initialization. To create an empty array, we use array.new and parentheses. Let's take a variable array.new with parentheses. Let's duplicate this. We can also pass the size. This is for the size, and we can also pass the elements. Like for all the elements, it will be 5. Let's comment this out and let's print this. Puts arr, run it. It will give us an empty array. So basically it's nothing. Let's comment this out and print this. Every element in this array is 5 and the size of the array is 3. Let's comment this out too. And we can also initialize an array with square brackets and passing the elements inside the square brackets. 2571, the elements. Let's look at accessing arrays. Puts arr, access with the square bracket and the first index, because array is 0 based indexed. Comment this out and print this 5 because 5 is in the first index. We can also do the same thing with at method. At 1, pass the index. These two lines essentially do the same thing. So print 5. Puts array dot first, it prints the first element of the array, and last prints the last element. 2 and 1, the first element and the last element. Puts array dot fetch, it's essentially doing something like indexing or add method. We can pass the index in the fetch method and place a default value. If the index is not present, it returns the default value. Let's comment this out first and print out 5. Because the first index is present, it's giving us the element. But if it were not present, it would give us the default. Because fourth index is not present, it's giving us 6. If now the array has fourth index, now if we run it, it will give us 9. Because currently the array has index 4. Adding elements. We can add elements in the array by using append operator and the element we want to add, 78. Now if we print this array, it has added the element, the last of the array, 78. We can do the same thing by using push method and passing the element. Let's give 56 and 56 has been added. Now what if we want to add an element at the very beginning? We use unshift and pass the element 23. It has added 23. Now what if we add in a particular index? Let's add dot insert. Let's suppose we want to add element in the second index. We pass the index and the element. Now if we let's adjust the terminal a bit. Let's run it again. 0th index 23, first index 2 and the second index 39. So insert method has added 39 in the second index. Now let's place this here and comment it. Let's take a look at how we can remove elements from an array. We can use pop method to remove the last element. It will print out the other elements other than the last element 2571. Now what if we want to remove the very first element? We use add dot shift, opposite of unshift. Now if we run it, it will also remove the first element, so 571. Now let's input some ones here. Now add dot delete. The element we pass, it deletes every element from this array. We have 3 ones, it will remove all the ones. 2, 5 and 7, 9. So basically it has removed all the ones from this array. Add dot delete add. We can use this method if we want a particular index deleted. Let's think of the fourth index. Now 7 is deleted. The particular index has been deleted from the array by using delete add method. Now let's place this add here and let's talk about querying. We can use add dot size to print out the size. Puts add dot size. Let's comment this out. You can also achieve the same thing by length method. 7 7. These two lines are doing the same thing. Now let's comment this out. Puts add dot include with question mark, and in the parenthesis we pass the element. We want to know that if the element exists in this array, it will return true. It has returned true because 5 is present in this array. It will return false if we look for 55 in the array. False because 55 isn't present. Let's comment this out too. Puts add dot empty with question mark. It will return as boolean false because the array is not empty. False in this case. Let's comment this out too. Puts add dot count, and in the parenthesis we pass the element we want to count 3 because we have 3 ones in this array. Let's put this array here. Now let's talk about iteration. How we can iterate an array? By for loop. For I in array puts I, this is a variable for the element and ends with the end keyword. Add dot each. Between the double pipes we pass the variable puts element. Let's comment this out. Now if we print, it has printed all the elements in the array. Let's put this array here. Now let's discuss about the transformation methods in array. We can use array dot reverse. Now if we print this array, it has printed the same array because this method doesn't change the original array. We will have to use exclamation mark to change the original array. Otherwise, it just returns an array. Let's store it in A. Now if we print A, let's comment this out. Now if we print it, A is the new reversed array. Add dot sort if we want to sort an array. And with the exclamation mark, it changes the original array. So it has sorted the array. Let's comment this out, and we can also store this in a separate variable. Now if we print this variable, it's giving us the sorted array. Let's comment this out, and if we print the original array, we can see that the original array is unchanged. We have almost covered the necessary methods in arrays. Now let's talk about hashes. Let's comment this out too. Also this. Let's first talk about initialization and creation. Let's name this variable hash, and between the curly braces we write an associative array, key and values. 3, let's take 34, 6, 12. We can access the hash with keys. Now if we print this, it has returned the associated value with the key 3. So this is for accessing. Let's comment this out. Puts hash dot fetch. It's almost doing the same thing as array fetch. If the key is not present, it returns a default value. Let's pass 6 here, and it will return the associated value with 6. Otherwise, it will return the default value we pass, 78. Because the array has key 6, it's returning 12. If this wasn't present, it would return 78, the default value passed in the fetch method. Let's put this back, comment this out. Modification. We can modify a hash, a key value pair by passing the key and assigning a different value. 45. Now if we print access and print this, the key 6, it will return 45. 12 is changed to 45. Hash dot store, we can achieve the same thing by passing the key and the value. Now if we print this again, accessing the 6 key, it would return 23 because we have modified the key 6. Let's comment this out and how we can remove elements from hash. Hash dot delete. We can pass the key 3. Now if we print the hash, it will return the other key value pairs but not the deleted key value pair. Let's comment this out too. Let's talk about querying now. Ports hash dot has key with a question mark, and we can pass the key to check if the hash has the key. It will return true because currently the hash has key value pair with key 3. Let's duplicate it. If we just query with just key, it will do the same thing. True in both of these cases. Ports hash dot value with question mark and pass the value to check if the hash has this value or not. So we can pass 12, it will return true, and we can also do this with has value. Both of these will return true. True. Alright, let's comment this out. Ports hash dot empty with a question mark. It will return false because the hash is not empty. Puts hash dot size. We can use the size method to check to get the size of the hash. 3 key value pairs. Also achieve the same thing with length. Let's comment this out. Both of these will return the same thing. Let's modify the hash with the John key, a string key, and a number value. Now if we print this, the size and the length have changed. Now let's access the key with John. It has printed 7 because 7 value is associated with John key. So these are the most necessary methods for arrays and hashes data structures. We have covered comments, keywords, data types, conditional statements, functions, methods, loops, and strings in the past videos. If you want, you can like this video. I'll see you in the next one.